I'm just saying a couple of things, and then we're gonna get started very, very soon.
My black crows crying dead scattered around. He caught my eye, soldiered alone. Wings stained crimson with blood not his own. He stood ice trained on a spot in the west. Skin unblemished, sword clutched to his breast. Unbothered by war, untouched by my hands. The lone man who walked through the valley of death. Ancient one, lonely one, come rest your head. I'll hold you gently, safe in death's grasp. I smile upon you, my weathered champion. Come, ancient wanderer, come home. This is your hour. I followed him closely, my birds at his side. Yet his power over me could not be denied. His feats grew in number, his body soared. One life to be lived.
I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to bring in my lovely friends. I am not alone on this stream, by the way. We're going to be joined by some incredible people. Let me undeafen. And here we go. You two can introduce yourselves. You guys know who I am. I'm Furno. Well, I didn't mean you. I meant the audience, but I love you too. Great. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Love you all too. And she's also painfully British, just saying. That was a joke. That was legally a joke. Wait, I'm making sure really fast. Can everyone hear, or can everybody hear them specifically? I wanted to make sure. Because right now it's saying that my input capture is not capturing you guys, which worries me just a hair. Let me check really fast. I'm sorry, guys. I'm learning as I go. La 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 la. That would be why. Okay, let's see if that works. Try talking again.
Hello.
Yay! Okay,
It's me.
I am such an idiot. Okay. If that doesn't tell you anything about how we're gonna be doing this today, I don't know what to tell you. Hang on.
I think some people are hearing and some people aren't looking at the chat.
Some people are hearing you guys and some people aren't.
I'm not sure. I can't quite tell.
Sorry, I'm fixing stream right
now. Okay.
Okay. Looking at chat always takes a hot second to catch up, so I just want to be sure. And I don't know why my OBS isn't showing that right now. A little annoying. I'm not going to lie. Guys. Okay, I really hope that this... Chat, show me chat. Oh, right, there we go. I can see you guys.
Yeah, okay.
We can hear them. Hearing has happened. Okay, cool. Let's try this again because I am a dummy.
Oh, they missed our bit.
They missed our bit. They missed our bit. I'm very upsetty spaghetti right now. Upsetty spaghetti. Depresso espresso. My life is over. Okay, going back to what we're doing. Hi everyone. I am a dummy. I'm the dummy in chat. I'm just the stupid person who makes the sound waves go funky. I'm Furno. If you have not heard me talk before, like actually heard me talk, you've heard me sing. And I'm going to be doing a Ballad of the Lonely Breakdown stream. And now I'm going to introduce the two other people who helped to make this happen. And now you can actually hear them, funnily enough. Dragon, my editor, and Day, my artist. So let's start with Dragon. Dragon, take it away.
Hello. I am Inferno's editor. I'm Dragon. I've edited anything from Ballad on, including all the things that Furno has not wanted me to edit, but I've done in 10 minutes in the dead of night.
That has happened. I can confirm that I have gotten like full-length edited TikToks that I just have not posted. that I need to post someday. Okay, fun fact, I actually just got access back to my TikTok account yesterday. I haven't had access to it. Yeah, I haven't had access to it in like a hot minute because I forgot the password. And then somebody was like, well, why don't you reset the password? And I was like, well, I can't do that because I don't remember how I logged into it in the first place. Turns out I logged into it through my YouTube email. So I'm a dummy. Anyways, so that was Dragon. Dragon is incredible, amazing, awesome, wonderful. I couldn't be doing it without them. I know nothing about video editing. I'm a terrible video editor. I think...
I don't know, man. Nowhere Kid was really incredible.
And Nowhere Kid also consumed like 4 months of my life, so we don't talk about that. And then the other person is Day. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Day. Or some people might know me as Degasyog. I did the art.
You're also woefully
That's
British.
about all I have to say.
That's where
yes,
where the
I am
woefully
British
part came from. Which very like I love her. I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. You Americans.
Oh. Okay, playing with fire today, babe. For those of you who do not know, Day is my girlfriend, and I'm going to be doing my best not to flirt on stream. I've been asked not to flirt on stream, and I'm going to follow that guideline. But yes, so Dragon, bonk both of us if we get to be stupid.
You got it.
It's
got the bonking stick.
Luna Moon. It is both Day, D-A-Y, and Day, D-A-E.
Yeah.
It's interchangeable.
It can be either.
It can be either or. Not gonna lie. Yeah. It goes around being either or. All right, so ballad breakdown. Who's ready?
Woo! Oh gosh. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna be watching the video. I'm gonna be starting and stopping. I'm gonna be talking about different aspects of the video. I'll be answering questions about the video. So please just let me know if you A, can't hear anything, and B, can't see anything. You should be able to see the video right now. I have the video pulled up. Like, that's what we're at. Here we go. And I'm already stopping the video right here.
Phono.
Yes.
Just update. Me and Dragon cannot hear.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. I don't know how to
I'm not sure
that.
how we can fix that.
Hang on. I know how we can fix it. This is gonna be weird and awkward. I'm gonna be streaming like to two different. Go live. Okay, there. Now you should be able to see, guys.
There we go. Woo! Thank you.
Woo! Sorry. Okay, anyways, back to this. I'm gonna stop right here. All we've heard so far is the bell. But the bell is actually really important. I actually got a question from an artist at one point. Hi, Felno. Good to see you. Or Felino. I've never known how to say it. I just say Felno because I skipped the 33. But yeah, the bell, super important. And the reason why the bell is super important is because it's actually a death bell. Different cultures across the world have different aspects of death. They have different cultures. They have different ways that they honor the dead. And in I forget who I got this bell from. I forget which culture it is. It's one of the Latin American not Latin American, but like Latino cultures. It's one of those South American cultures. Well, Latin America, South America. I mean, same difference. Not same difference. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. Not same difference, and I should not have said that. There is a difference between Southern America and Latin America, just based off of culture and other things. So I shouldn't have said that, actually. But I will say it's a Southern American bell. I forget where. I really should have remembered. I should have remembered where I got it from. It's been so long since I looked at Ballad. But it is a death bell. So I actually had to retune the bell specifically so that it would fit the rest of the song. The song is in B flat major or minor. B flat major or B flat minor. Or B major or B minor. And I can't remember which off the top of my head. I think it's B minor. So I had to specifically tune the bell. I had to do all sorts of wonky stuff with it, but I eventually got it to fit. And so anytime you hear a bell on this song, it's a death pealing bell. And I thought it would fit really well because angel death, right? Hear the bell ring deep in the soul chiming away. That's a good reference. I love Achilles Come Down. Random question: do I play ukulele? Yes, I play ukulele. But let's keep the questions to ballad related for right now.
Black crows crying dead scattered around. He caught my eye, soul alone, wings stained crimson with blood not his own. He stood ice trained on the spot.
I'm gonna stop. Jump scare. Okay. I'm gonna stop here. For a couple of reasons. Musically, I want it. Musically and sound-wise, you'll hear wind in the background. That's what that is. Somebody said that it was ocean sounds, which it could be. I don't know where that wind snippet was taken from, but it's wind. It goes back and forth throughout the song very slowly. It'll transfer from one side of your ear to the other, from one side of the sound stage to the other. It's called panning. Who's crackling? Crackle, crackle, crackle. Crackle.
I have chocolate.
Why am I not surprised? Okay.
Is it
anyways.
good chocolate?
I'm sorry, I'll mute.
No, Day, come back. It's okay. Babe. Okay, anyways, you guys talk about the art here in a second. Like, dude, you can't mute. But yes, so you'll hear wind going back and forth. And then you also hear a second voice beneath the main. So I do is anyone else having the song fade in and out? That could be a problem. Okay, I will see if I can fix it. Hopefully. Oh, I know what it is. Actually, hang on. I shouldn't have to have this, but I might have. I have a noise gate. My guess is that the noise gate's causing the issue. Which. But now you can hear my bedroom, which sucks. Oh well. My roommate's got the AC on pretty high too. You shouldn't have it fade in and out from here. Anyways, but you'll hear wind. The wind, that was an intentional choice. I wanted something behind it. And then you'll hear a lower voice joining the main voice. The lower voice is, I chose to go lower because Woe to the People of Order, the cover that I listened to and the one that I based it upon, it starts lower too, and I wanted to pay homage to that by adding in voices as I went. There's actually 4 separate voices singing the lower harmonies, or singing that lower harmony. So it starts out one voice, and then with each line, there's more voices added in to build a louder, more robust chorus feeling without there actually being a louder, more robust chorus. Which is kind of crazy, and kind of what I love. There's some editing and some art tricks here, so who wants to start?
Okay, so when the first idea of the heart glowing and not glowing came about, I didn't actually know how to do that, and so I went to Day about getting a heart without the glow, and Beloved Day gave me 2 versions of it, one without a glowing purple and one without a glowing red, and I was very happy about that.
Okay.
Yeah. There was 4 versions that ended up being made. And it was actually pretty simple. Because I just had all the lighting on different layers.
Yeah, there were 4 different versions. There was the muted heart, which is the heart with no light, so that's the red heart. There's the glowing red heart, and then you'll see 2 more versions later on in the song. There's the shattered purple and the glowing shattered purple. And we alternate between all 4 at one point, I think, which I think gave Dragon an aneurysm. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
It turned out nice in the end.
All of my video editing for the heart is actually just video transitions. And that's what I use through through the majority of the song, including a lot of the wither effects at the very end, which we'll see later, and I can talk about that later.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all of that. So this should fix the audio issue, going back to this. My noise gate is off, which means that you're going to hear like my refrigerator and the AC, and audio quality is not going to be great. I'm sorry, guys. I'll figure out a way to fix it. I'm actually saving up right now for a new mic that won't have these kinds of issues. And I'll explain why I need a new mic for that later. But for right now, let's get back into it. Jump scare.
Skin unblemished, sword clutched to his breast, unbothered by war, untouched by my hands. The lone man who walked through the valley of death. Ancient one, lonely one, come rest your head. I'll hold you gently, safe in death's grasp. I smile upon you, my weathered champion. Come, ancient wanderer, come home. This is your hour.
Alright, I'm going to stop there for a second. So, musically, at this point in the song, there are four different every time you hear the chorus, there are four different harmonies that are functioning three different harmonies that are functioning all at once, along with the main melody. So you've got a lower harmony that goes really, really low. You have a high harmony, which is an octave away from the low. They are an octave's jump from each other, so you've got this, come ancient wanderer, come home, this is your hour. The lower harmony goes, come ancient wanderer, come home, this is your hour. It's just an octave jump. And the reason why I do that is because I didn't want anything that's super clashed. It's really easy, especially with me, to create harmonies that get a little bit too complicated. And at this point in the song, I didn't want complicated, and for the choruses, I didn't want complicated. So you have those two. Then you have a middle harmony, and there's actually two voices at once singing the middle harmony. Both of them are panned, which means that I've directed where they're coming from to opposite sides of the screen, opposite sides of the audio. So if you're ever wearing headphones, or if you're listening to like through stereo surround speakers, or if you're listening through other things, then both sides will be playing, both sides will be playing that middle harmony, but the left ear is only playing the upper harmony, the right ear is only playing the lower harmony, and then the main vocals are coming at you from the center, which is awesome. So, and that's kind of some audio tricks that I gave you. It's like the wind going back and forth between your ears. Just different things that pull your ear in different directions. And I've been playing with it more with instrumentals. I've been playing it more with other things. So you'll hear it for subtle. You're going to hear it in Woe to the People of Order. Actually, you're going to hear that quite a bit in Woe to the People of Order. You're going to hear that in... You're going to hear that in a song that I'm working on right now called Hey Hey Welcome Home. Which is actually a Wilbur song based off of Utah lore. So there's all sorts of different places that I'm playing with, like where is your ear attracted to. And this is kind of the beginning of that journey. This song was back when I started it. So sorry guys, I know I have you like here. You're allowed to talk if I'm talking. Like if you have any questions.
I don't want to interrupt you.
No, but you're allowed to talk. Like, if you have any questions for me, or if you want to say something, like, please say something. Or like, oh, wow, I really like this part of the song. Like, guys, you don't have to be quiet.
I do have something to say video-wise, but...
No, tell me. Yeah,
okay,
say it.
So,
what do you got?
Originally, that pulsing heart was really fast when I first did it in the first demo. And then, you, Ferno, you mentioned that just looked horrible. And I agree. And so whenever I went about it the second time, I was trying to make it more like a lullaby, just sort of kind of like drifting off to sleep, kind of that feeling. And the way I actually did that was the transition cross dissolve, just in between two of the clips, both the non-glowing and the glowing one. And I just did that back and forth and lengthened it to make it more like flowing into the beat of the song.
I didn't know that. Like, I remember telling you, like, that's really fast, can we not?
Yeah.
Because it was offbeat was the big part. Like, it was horrible to me because it was offbeat, and it was bothering me. Like, it was, like, going, like, ancient one, lonely one. Like, this was, like, how the heart was going. I was like, I mean, it was actually meant like slower, but it was wrong.
Yeah, no, but this one's much better. I agree with you now.
Yeah. Okay, we have a question from Lafayette's Chronicle. I've been thinking about this, but how did you get the accent in the song? So that's the funny part. It's actually not it is an accent, it's not an accent. It's a mixture of both. So I melded a mixture of Irish brogue, Scottish brogue together to create the sound that I used for Ballad, and then everything else that came with Ballad is actually just proper choral singing technique, hilariously. So normally when I'm doing songs, Nowhere Kid, for instance, Nowhere Kid, I'm a Nowhere Kid, like, I don't sing chorally, because it's a different style of singing. It's not what I need in the moment. I need something a little bit heavier, something a little bit darker. I need those R's in choral singing. You eliminate the R's, or you don't eliminate them. If they're at the beginning of a word, you actually flip them, like broke, just for an example. And so I listened to a lot of different videos, a lot of different cultures. It helps that at the time I was watching Outlander on Netflix, which has tons of Scottish accents and a couple of English ones in there. If you've never watched Outlander, watch Outlander. It's really good, but please be an adult, because Outlander gets dark very, very quickly. I really have. Well, no, I don't think you can see that. So yeah, I was watching Outlander at the time, which helped with the Scottish part. And so I noticed that there are certain vowels, certain words that get altered in a sense. For instance, blood. Wing stained crimson with blood not his own. All of that, for the most part, is just good choral singing. And then you get to blood, and that's not. But the blood, it has the way that the Scottish and some of the Irish say it. It's very blood. It's very drawn out, very, very hooded, is what we would call it. It means that you place it in the back of your mouth. And when you place it in the back of your mouth the way that I did, it creates this long, extended kind of thing. Another good example is Donbrook in the East. Donbrook in the East. Normally I'd say bro. Yeah, no, that's good choral singing, actually. Like, I over-accentuate it to create a kind of quote-unquote accent, but for the most part, it's actually good choral singing. So I've actually had a lot of people say, like, oh, the accent is so great, and I'm like, there's really not one. Like, there's certain words that I'll do something with, but for the most part, it's just good choral singing put into a song, which doesn't make it all that special. I'm sorry to ruin the magic of it. I actually am continuing the accentish kind of deal with Woe to the People of Order, and I'm continuing it with Poet Song. Theseus is more of a shanty, so I'm gonna go more Wellerman style. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. Like, that's gonna be a little bit different. So the vowels are gonna be shaped differently, but for the most part, it's just reshaping the vowels, and over accentuating certain things. And that you'll never rise again, like, rise, like, that's a very folk, and that's more of a folk kind of thing than it is an actual accent thing. So it depends on the song, it depends on what I'm doing, but yeah, that's how I created it. Actually, that's a really great question. I've never been directly asked that before, so kind of fun to talk about it now. That makes sense in why it works so well. Yeah, because, well, and the other thing, too, is I didn't want to specifically do an accent because I am not from any of those countries. I'm not Scottish. I do have a lot of Irish ancestry. My family from Ireland came over 1900s, early 1900s, I think. Or at least my mother's side of the family is all very, very Irish, Catholic Irish, so they grew up in the Derry area. I actually had a grandmother. If you've ever heard of an organization in Ireland that's very famous for being a not so good organization. I'm not going to mention them on stream, and I'm not going to mention what they did. You can go researching it yourself. And I actually highly suggest that you go research the conflicts in Derry and in Northern Ireland. They're fascinating, and they're a good look at part of the reason why the Irish don't like the Queen very much. Sorry, Day. I love you, I do. And my Irish ancestry probably is very upset with me for loving you. But yeah, no. I had family in said organization that did a lot of really bad things in Northern Ireland. I'm not going to say the name of it. I do not condone what they've done. I just think that it's a funny fact that my grandmother may or may not have smuggled contraband for bad people who were trying to do a good thing but going about it the wrong way. But yeah, so a little bit of family history there that's really funny. But yeah, so that's the reason why I don't actually call it an accent. I really don't want to call it an accent. And that's because cultural appropriation is huge for me. I don't like it. I don't want to promote it. Doing an accent just for the views or doing an accent just for something else, like that's not right. And also as a music major and as somebody who's going into the field of music, there's a broader conversation in the world of music education about globalizing the classroom, about globalizing who we are and what we teach, and adding more songs from more cultures. There's a big push to bring in more conductors and more educators from underrepresented cultures in academia. And it's a huge field, it's a growing field, it's an important thing, but it's also important, and a larger part of the broader conversation is, how do we do this and make it good? How do we appreciate it, not appropriate? So yeah, I don't call it an accent, and I don't consider it an accent. I consider it good choral singing, and a couple of words that I over accentuate that I borrowed from other places, but I did it lovingly, and I didn't do it to appropriate. I did it to honor, and honor where I got the idea and where folk comes from, because folk, I'm an ethnomusicologist at heart. I could tell you all about where folk comes from. Am I going to do that right now? No, because we do need to move on. At the end, maybe I'll talk a little bit about ethnomusicology. Where does folk truly come from? How do we create folk? How does the genre of folk work? I'm thinking about doing a video about it too, because I did a bunch of summer research on all of this, and I need to turn in some sort of project, right? But yes, so bit of family history, ballad history, and accent history. Oh my god, I'm going into... Okay, anyways.
You know, Dragon and I were joking about taking the stream off the rails, but it looks like you're gonna do it for us.
Yeah.
I hate you both. I love you. I love you both. You're both amazing people.
This anything but about Ballad. No.
Yeah, I don't think I don't even know who's here. I don't even know who's here on stream. I'm deliberately not looking at view counts because I feel like that's a bad thing. So nobody tell me how many people are actually watching stream right now.
They're gonna do it now that you've told them not to.
No, don't tell me. Anyways, this is your hour.
I followed him closely, my birds at his side. Yet his power over me could not be denied. His feet...
Actually, I do have something to say about this. I asked Dragon deliberately to have the heart glowing here. And I wanted to do that because I wanted it, after the first time is like this lonely, it is the Ballad of the Lonely. It starts out alone, and then the voices join in, and the voices in my heart are the crows, following Mumsa, and that's the reason why you get that. They're crows who are reporting to Mumsa, like in my head, that's the canon of the song. All of the harmonies are crows, they're people, they're souls. Just death exudes this. So that's why the heart's glowing, because that's Mumsa's power at work, watching over him. Just funny little tidbit.
And I didn't mention this at the beginning. I didn't think about it, but at the beginning, the heart doesn't glow until there's multiple voice lines in there. So whenever it's like, whenever there's one voice, it's like you're singing alone. You have that feeling of just being alone. But whenever you have all these other voices come in, it's like your heart is glowing because you have all these people with you.
Yeah. That's actually a really good way to put it, Dragon. Like, thank you.
In number, his body count soared. One life to be lived, a life steeped in war. Mortal years past, empires rose and fell. Yet my warrior's bloodthirst could not be quelled. He slaughtered and fought, untethered still. Alone and unwavering, a man on a hill. Ancient one, lonely one, come rest your head. I'll hold you gently, safe in death's grasp. I smile upon you, my...
Okay, actually, funny thing I hate about this song. Death's grasp. The reason why I absolutely despise safe in death's grasp is because the letter S, is the most annoying, painful, horrible letter in the English language. And here's why. S's are so loud. They're the loudest syllable, or sibilants that we have. Sibilants are words, sibilants are consonants that create noises. So S, Z, C, D, P, all of those. They also can be called, some of them are also called plosives, but S is by far my most hated of all of them. Because S is at a specific frequency where you can't tune it out. Like, you have to have a specific tool called a de-esser to get rid of them. Because they are just that loud, and they're in a frequency range that you can't cover using EQ. So S's live in the 2,000 to 3,000 megahertz range, which essentially means that they're super high pitched, which means that they ring out really, really well. Because the thing about higher pitches / higher hertz versus lower hertz is how the sound waves move. So higher hertz have smaller sound waves, which means that they don't carry very far, but it does mean that they're the first thing that hit you because they travel faster. So you're going to hear an S before you are going to hear a low drone at the back of a hall. But the low drone at the back of the hall has larger sound waves. So they're going to be softer, but they're going to carry farther, which means that if you were in a huge hall and there's this droning noise, like, you would hear the droning noise, but you wouldn't hear somebody going at the other end of the hall. Which, just funny little sound thing for you. But it also makes mixing a pain. So, funnily enough, I didn't have the money to afford a de-esser when I did this project. So, I had to make a choice between audio filtration or a de-esser. I chose the audio filtration because I wanted overall better quality. Unfortunately, that also meant that I didn't have access to a de-esser. So, every time Death's Grasp shows up in the song, I internally cringe because there's no de-esser on Death's Grasp, which means that you just get it bothers me. So yes, that's funny. Anyways, S is not a plosive, correct? S's are not plosives, they're sibilants. There's a different thing. Plosives are P's, D's, C's, K, can be a plosive, but for the most part you're gonna hear P because plosive. And they're what make microphones pop. Anyways, yes, so my actual, hatred of this song. I don't hate this song. I love Ballad. I love what I did with it. I love how I did it. It just really pisses me off that I didn't have a de-esser on anything because I couldn't afford a good de-esser. So, yeah. Let's get back to it. No, jump scare. Sorry, I keep double-clicking and screwing this up.
Champion, come ancient wanderer, come home. This is your hour. Then
this is your hour. You can hear it. It bothers me.
One soaked in bloodshed who fought for no man. His anarchist ways changed my warrior's mind. Together they built an empire with pride. A place in the north far from the...
So I've had a lot of comments about techno with this song, and I've appreciated every one. Ballad is. I've also had some interesting comments talking about why did I choose to include certain characters? Why didn't I? And I think with Oh no, Phil, no, you don't have to. I actually make enough money now that I have a de-esser on hand. I don't need a de-esser now. At the time I was making this back in April, I didn't have enough money for a de-esser. I have enough money for a de-esser now. It's okay. You should not donate a de-esser. Please do not donate a de-esser. I think I will cry. Because I don't need one. I have a good one now. And I used it for Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me. So please do not donate a de-esser. Putting that out there. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Talking about how I included characters and why I included certain characters. Phil's a tough character to talk about canonically. He has a lot of pre-DSMP lore. He's got the Antarctic Empire. He's got his hardcore world. And he's got Kristen, obviously, Mumza. So you've got those aspects that I wanted to touch on and how they were introduced to a story. And this song is all from Mumza's point of view, which is very Phil-centric. Because she's watching over him, specifically. So I knew I was going to introduce techno. I knew I needed a way to introduce techno, so I talked about the Antarctic Empire. We'll get to the other character that gets the other characters, technically, that get featured a little bit more heavily later on down the line. But yeah, every character that shows up has a reason for showing up. And after Techno's passing, I found a lot of people coming here for comfort because of this song. And I just wanted to say really fast, thank you. Ballad I consider Phil and Mum's song, but I didn't remember until a few days later how important techno was to the story, and how important techno was to this song. And I wanted to thank you guys for reminding me of that. It means a lot. Anyway, sorry, I didn't want to get heavy with this, but I did want to mention it, and I did want to say thank you guys. You're all amazing. What is the Antarctic Empire? The Antarctic Empire is, who's better at explaining SMP Live? I wasn't around for SMP Live. Or SMP Earth. Day, you know a little bit more.
Yeah, I didn't realize until I got into DSMP, but I had actually watched some of SMP Earth without realizing I was watching SMP Earth. I think I watched Slimecicle. But yeah, basically in SMP Earth, Techno and Phil claimed the Arctic as their sort of territory. It was a faction server, I think, like a faction server.
Yeah, it was Wilbur. It was run by Wilbur, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's run by Wilbur.
And that's where Tommy and Wilbur met. Like, that's where Wilbur and
that's where all of
got a lot
met.
of... Yeah, that's where all of SBI met.
Apart from...
No. Techno
Minecraft
and
Mondays.
Techno and Phil met in Minecraft Monday, and then Wilbur and Techno. Wilbur, Techno, and Phil all met in Minecraft Monday. So that's a little bit different. But they all met Tommy in SMP Earth. I think that's the big thing. And then that's also where a lot of Jay Schlatt and Wilbur's history comes from, too. That came from SMP Earth. Or SMP Live. That SMP Live was before SMP Earth. And I don't think Jay Schlatt was in SMP Earth.
I can't remember. But yeah, that was... The Antarctic Empire was Phil and Techno's sort of faction on SMP Earth. And if you want to see more about that, you should definitely watch... I think it's Techno's video, which is we took over the entirety of SMP Earth or something like that. Yeah. Great video.
Watch that at some point. That's a really great video. They basically did an exploit in the game that allowed, like, they exploited a bug or something that allowed them to claim the entire Earth as the Antarctic Empire's property. It's the funniest thing.
It's brilliant.
And then there was this whole trial, and like Wilbur was involved, and Tommy got involved for some reason. So I definitely recommend going to check that out. Not right now, because you should be watching me. Please watch me. Thank you. Hi. But if you have the chance, go watch it on Techno's channel. It's a really great video. One of my favorite techno videos out there, actually. Anyways, but yeah. So we get back to it.
World, they fought for each other through many a war. Two warrior brothers who ne'er could die. No matter how I wished them to be at my side. Ancient one, lonely one, come rest your head. I'll hold you gently, safe in death's grasp. I smile upon you, my weathered champion. Come, ancient wanderer, come home. This is your hour. Then came the day I saw my chance to join him, if only for barely a breath. A family we made, a son we raised, until my duties called me away. My son, the musician, his words brought me pride. His stringed guitar always at his side. I watched as he grew, I watched as he fled. My warrior left all alone once again.
So I've had a couple of people ask me, who are actually music people, that I've talked to IRL. But it's a good point to make. How did I get the intensity to go up without changing volume and without making the song in and of itself, like adding more harmonies to it? Because I'm still using the same 2 harmonies that maybe there's a third one in there. The same amount of harmonies that I've been using throughout this entire song, but it gets more intense as things go. And this goes back to the beginning when I talked about the lower end and how I added voices in without actually adding voices. Every part, except for the main melody, has 4 separate recordings of it being sung at the same time, which took me... How long was the recording session for Ballad? Oh my god. I remember it was late enough that Day woke up. Because I was talking to Day. Like, Day had gone to bed when I started, and then I didn't finish until Day had woken up. And at the time, I think it was 4 o'clock in the morning, I was in the recording studio from 8 p.m. to 4 o'clock in the morning recording this. I did it all in one night. I did it all in, I'm not going to say like one take, because there were multiple different takes, but I did it all in one night. I did it all in one recording session, then I went home, and I didn't touch Ballad for 2 weeks. After I did it, because I was that sick of the song, and I knew I was going to have to mix and master it, which mixing and mastering takes forever, because all of these are vocal tracks. Somebody pointed it out this morning, and they made a good observation. Almost every track in this is, I know it's not healthy, but at the time I just wanted to get it done, and I was about to go to Ireland, which was the other thing. At the time I was getting ready for a huge Ireland trip. I'll talk about that someday, I think.
Yeah.
I'm actually going back to Ireland very soon. Yeah, Ireland. It's where we met up, babe. I met up with Day in Ireland. I'll probably vlog a little bit of the Ireland trip, actually, because I want, or of the next Ireland trip, and share it with you guys. I think you guys would enjoy that. What was I saying? Yeah, so I needed to get it done, and I was really annoyed with it. This whole Ballad in and of itself is probably like the best and most annoying thing I've ever done. But yeah, so I was up until 4 o'clock in the morning recording. But how I added intensity into everything was by adding more tracks of me singing the same thing. And so every line, my son the musician, his words brought me pride. There were 3 tracks singing that. His stringed guitar always at his side. There were now 5 tracks singing that, because I added 2 more, one on the lower harmony, one on the upper harmony. And then every single line subsequently would add a new voice on every track except the main. And then they would all be, there was so much automation that went into this. Then I added automation, which essentially means that I added a program into my DAW that would bring the volume down on all of them over time, so that nothing ever got any louder. Because normally when you're adding, when you add another track into something and you're using the same thing, you're boosting the overall audio of that particular thing. But if I did that, then I would drown out the main vocals. So every time I added in a new voice, I would have to bring down all of the other harmonies, including that new voice, to make sure that nothing ever overpowered the main vocals, which was very, very hard. There was lots of automation involved. Mixing and mastering this took me over 130 hours combined altogether. If that doesn't say anything about how hard I worked on this, I don't know what will. But yeah, Ballad. I always said that I would never do anything like this ever again, and then I decided to do Woe to the People of Order. And I wrote Poet Song, and I'm working on Theseus, so I lied. Day, Dragon.
Yeah.
I need a bonk. Somebody bonk me. Okay. Anyways, anybody have anything to add right now? Or are we still good?
None of my stuff comes in until the very end.
Yeah. And I don't think we've hit anything for you, Day.
I don't know. I can kind of talk about the art anytime.
Well, talk about whatever you want. Like, please tell me if you need to talk about something, dude.
I don't know. I'm just enjoying listening to you.
Is this Furno Podcast Hour again?
This is Furno Podcast Hour.
Oh, God,
This is
We
Furno
just have to be
Podcast Hour.
guest starring.
Oh, shush.
Yeah.
There's an ongoing joke among me, my server, that there's Furno Podcast Hour, because I know a lot about a lot of different things. And I talk about a lot of different things, especially if it has to do with music or education or history or folklore or culture or mixing and mastering or music production or mathematics. Weirdly enough, I hate math, but I know a lot about it. Biology, xenobiology, writing, English, languages. I love language breakdowns. Ethnomusicology. Yeah, I know a lot about a lot of things.
Yeah, and all I know how to do is edit.
That is not all you know how to do. Dragon is amazing, by the way. Yes, Addie, thank you for plugging the Discord. Yes, join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of really great people, and maybe you get to hear me talk about random things over and over and over again.
The Furno cast, but it's transcribed.
I think there are literal walls of text of me just talking.
I read them all.
I know you do. You read everything. You even read the mod logs.
I enjoy it.
For those of you who don't know, Dragon is also one of my Discord mods. And they meticulously go through all of the mod logs every single day, and they're the only mod who does it.
I get to enjoy it.
You do.
I get secret messages from the beloved Brits of our server.
They changed their names, and I can't keep up with it. I think they literally changed all of their names to the lyrics of Nowhere Kid the other week.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I watched that happen in VC in real time.
Yeah, like they did. They went like they started with like the beginning of Nowhere Kid, and then they just went through.
Except in the mod logs, it was incredibly out of order. It was so funny. I was like singing the song in my head, but like in the order that they were saying it in. So it was just so cursed.
Yeah, all three of the Brits are now named Nowhere Kids 1, 2, and 3. It's Puffle, Floor, and Cheese. What?
Yeah, the younger Brits.
Yeah, it's the younger Brits. It's not my girlfriend. My girlfriend is still Dayferno. But yeah.
It's BT.
What does it
British
stand
Ginger
for?
Bench Trio.
Us,
the GNDT, we renamed them whenever they did the Nowhere Kid thing because we realized that they were the British version of us.
You do realize that means we have to kin assign them My Son, My
we
Song, Nowhere Kid, and Soft. So who's Soft, who's Nowhere Kid, and who's My Son, My Song?
That's a good
Because I have a song for all three of the Bench Trio.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think Cheese gives me Soft Boy. Cheese gives me Soft Boy.
Really? Yeah.
Like, just in chaoticness. Cheese gives me Soft Boy. Nowhere Kid... Well, no, Puffle really loves My Son, My Song, so Floor has to be Nowhere Kid.
Yeah, I was about to say that anyways. Floor is Nowhere Kid.
Yeah,
Floor is
Nowhere Kid.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. So
her.
Puffle's My Son, My Song. Cheesy Nacho is, or Cheese Doodles. Or it depends on who we're talking to, or like when we're talking to them. They change it so often. Cheese would be Soft, and Floor would be Nowhere Kid.
I would also like to note that it took them about like 2 days to figure out what their name even meant, while the rest of us sat around and laughed at them.
I didn't know what it meant either. I like woke up and there was chaos.
Well, Puffle has just realised.
Yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
We even confirmed it in the group chat, but but Puffle has not seen it until right this second.
That's funny. I didn't know that. You guys can't hear the knocking that's above me, can you?
Cannot hear anything.
I'm not hearing any knocking.
I'm at the stream.
Oh.
Chat, can you hear the tell me if you can hear the knocking above me, chat, at some point. Because I really don't want to have to go upstairs and tell my roommate to... I'll explain to people who know later. The entire time we knew you'd hate us for it. You can, Addie? Maybe it's just me. Ah, dang it. Okay, this is why I had a noise filter on.
I keep getting yelled at in chat, and I'm like, why are people saying nay?
This sounds like a personal problem.
Well,
alright.
They're going after you because you're British.
They did. They're going after you because you're British. I have discovered...
We're gonna ignore the fact that Puffle's also British.
I have discovered the fact that anytime I want to make the Brits upset with me, all I have to do is post a picture of a biscuit, like an actual southern biscuit, and call it a biscuit, and they will scream, and it's perfect.
Be careful.
The way you summon them.
Be careful.
It's how you summon them, or you or you mention a toast sandwich, and you make fun of them for toast sandwiches.
I know has toast sandwiches.
Except it's a thing. It's a huge thing in the UK. Therefore,
what is a toast sandwich?
It's like a piece of badly charred toast between two other pieces of less charred toast.
I have never seen someone
that
have
sounds like the worst thing in the world.
It's almost as bad as haggis in how disgusting it sounds. I'm not gonna lie. Haggis? How do you
sounds
say
like
it?
bread.
Haggis?
Is it haggis? It's called haggis. Okay.
Yes, it's haggis.
I think we ignited Floor. Alright, back to the song.
Patient one, lonely one, come rest your head. I'll hold you gently, safe in dusk grasp. I smile upon you, my weathered champion. Come, ancient wanderer, come home. This is your hour. Soon as his son and his friend came together, my angel of death flew faster than ever into a war. He flew once again to search for his son and his warrior friend.
Alright, fun fact about this section in particular for me. On the music end of things, there are 6 different harmonies happening right here. 6 different harmonies. Now imagine 6 different harmonies multiplied by 4. That is how many tracks are singing. So there's 24 tracks currently being sung at the same time in this one section alone. It gets worse. Promise. It gets a lot worse.
He found one alone in a man-made cave, a button to raise the land he had made. Sword in hand, my angel cried as the sun laid in his arms and died.
Before I get to talking about the craziness of that in particular, I'm gonna let Dragon and Day talk about what they did here, because that deserves some talking.
Okay.
That's not me.
Well, funny enough, that transition from the red to the purple is actually my most hated part in the whole song.
Wait, really?
Or in the video, because I used the wrong transition when I did it, and I didn't realize it until it was posted, and so every time I see that part, I go, ugh. It's just I did it a minute ago too. It's just the worst. But then just a little bit later, you'll see my favorite one. But it's like, but I don't. I used the glitch transition instead of the camera shake transition, which they're very similar, but it kind of zooms up instead of what I wanted it to actually do, but I notice it every single time.
I didn't know that. You never told me that. See,
Yeah, no,
I'm learning things, guys. You've mentioned it to me, and I don't remember.
I mention it all the time.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. Shit, I didn't know that. I'm gonna get banged. I'm gonna get upset. YouTube's gonna be upset. Spaghetti with
You're
me.
gonna get demonetized.
No, I don't want to get demonetized.
No.
I like being monetized.
If we're talking about,
I can afford things. Anyways, art.
Yeah. If we're talking about goofs, then I think the major one for me here is that I gave Mumsa a wedding ring, and I'm pretty certain that is the wrong hand for the wedding ring.
It is. You put it on the right hand instead of the left.
I put it on the wrong hand.
She's just really mad at him.
I never noticed that. That's so funny.
I didn't either, not till right now.
Until you told me, I never would have known.
Yeah.
That is so
Whoopsies.
funny. Oh my god.
At least, Dragon, yours only there for a few seconds. Mine is there for the entire song.
I know.
Oh, well,
Honestly,
Dragon screwed up another time at some point. So, like, I hear all of the S's. Dragon has a couple of other gaffes, and then there's you.
I have a bunch of like misspelled stuff that I wouldn't even notice until somebody pointed it out during the stream.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah,
Has there been more?
I don't remember what it was, but I misspelled
one.
something, and I couldn't point it out to you now either. But there's a misspelling in there that is just like so wrong. I
remember that one. I remember that.
I think
one.
it was
like it's just.
I think it was brought. Yeah, I said bra. But you like because you have that the way you're singing the song, you really do emphasize that T. So it's just weird to have bra when you say bra.
Like I said, it's good choral singing. We make sure our T's and our D's are heard, and we make sure that they are D's, because one of my biggest pet peeves with modern singers is that there's a lot of singers out there who instead of singing and, they'll sing ant, and it bothers me, like, to a ridiculously neurotic extent. I actually caught myself doing it on Poet Song, and I literally deleted an entire 1 minute of audio. Which Poet Song, by the way, is 7 minutes and 23 seconds. It's the longest song I've written ever. It's a long song.
I really need to get started for the art on that.
You do. I'll send you a demo at some point and just be like, hey, this is what I'm working on, so you can get vibes. But yeah, so Day. Fun fact: Day is doing the art for Poet Song.
Yes. I didn't let Ferno not let me do the art for Poet Song. I was like, I did basically just go into your DMs like, if you don't let me do the art for Poet Song, I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna break up with you. It's probably what I would have done. Probably would have broken up with me.
That may have been sad, actually.
Fun fact, guys, I'm doing the editing for that as well. Yeah. I'm so cool.
Yep. And I will say, woe to the people of Order is not being done by Day. Sorry, babe. You have enough to work on with Poet Song with everything that we talked about.
I think I have to draw several different things for that.
Yeah, you do. Sorry. But Amphi, one of my other Discord mods, who also has done artwork for Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me, for the not the video, but the album cover, and the Songs from Nowhere album cover was also Amphi, actually.
Amphi is an amazing artist.
They are. They're doing Woe to the People of Order's art, and I've already seen the mock-ups for it, guys. It looks incredible. It's techno, obviously, but we're going with a very interesting kind of way, and it matches some of Ballad of the Lonely's art, too, in some ways. It's interesting. I think every single song that I've posted, other than Soft, and Arla Manberg, has had a purple background. I'm not sure why that keeps happening, but I think it's funny. So, anyways, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I can, because I saw, thank you for the compliment on how I drew Mumsa, so I thought I'd just get into that a bit quickly. When I got the first demo for Ballad of the Lonely, like we were talking about with the accent, I picked up on the accent, and to me, it gave it a very folky, almost Celtic feel. It made me think that's what I thought when I first heard it. So when I drew Mumsa, I went to it with that in mind. So a lot of the curls and the curves, I'm thinking of the Celtic, if you think of Celtic knots and that very swirly Celtic style, which is what I tried. Like, it's kind of worked, kind of not, but that's what I tried to put into the art for this. Her her dress is kind of fantasized, but it is slightly based off a kirtle, which is a medieval, I think generally European style of dress. And then the hat and the veil, because that's kind of Mums's trademark. But yeah, that was some of my artistic decisions.
Those were amazing artistic decisions, actually. Like, Day literally spammed my DMs for like 3 hours explaining what a kirtle was. So like, I know that she went like really in depth with how she was doing this and how she was putting it together, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to you for that. Like,
I just wanted an excuse to like do historical clothing. I love historical clothing.
Well, and I think the funniest part about Ballad is the fact that Day didn't even ask me if they could do it. Or if she could do it. Like, you literally just went, so I'm gonna do this now. And I went, okay, bye. I still have to actually pay you. I just remembered that.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I still have to actually pay you. Fun fact, it's been since April and I still haven't paid my girlfriend. To be fair, not my girlfriend at the time, but I still have to pay you. I'll pay you. I'm sorry, babe. Or actually, you know what? I'll take you out to a nice dinner and I'll pay. We'll call it even. I'll take you out to dinner and we'll do a date and I'll pay for you. Because I am a romantic at heart. I am such a romantic. I don't write a lot of love songs, but I'm such a romantic, and Ballad is all about love, which is kind of fitting. Anyways, going back into the video. Now that we've all significantly gone off the rails again. Dragon bonk me.
One lonely one, come rest your head. I'll hold you gently, safe in dusk. I smile upon you, my weather champion. Come, ancient wanderer, come.
Wait, crap! I didn't talk about the music. Okay, going back. We talked about everything but the music, so we're gonna go back.
His warrior friend, he found one alone in a man-made cave. A button to raise the land he had made. Sword in hand, my angel cried as the sun laid in his arms and died. Ancient.
Alright, so a couple of things here in this section. It's now that I get to talk about my thing, which is the music. I love talking about the other things, but I love talking about the music more because I'm a music major. This should not surprise anyone. Also, I'm just vain and egotistical, and I have to talk. No, that's a lie.
No, it's interesting.
Thank you, babe. I love you. So this section, the sword in hand, my angel cried section, is my favorite part in the entire song. When I originally wrote Ballad of the Lonely, I wrote it in October of 2021. So thinking about where that is, like in the Furno timeline, July was when I came out with Arla Manberg. I wrote Soft not long after. So I wrote Arla Manberg, I wrote Soft not long after, and then I didn't release Soft until October. I wrote Ballad right before I went back to school. So it was actually in September when I wrote Ballad. I always say that it was October, but that's because I didn't finalize the lyrics for Ballad until October. I've talked a little bit about the story of me writing Ballad and me shelving Ballad. Actually, I wrote Ballad, and then I was advised by a music production friend, who does have a YouTube account, did make Dream SMP Music, is actually in charge of a really big project. And he told me to shelve Ballad because nobody would be interested in it and nobody would like it, which obviously is wrong. I mean, it's got 100,000 views. It's my highest rated song. Like, you guys love it to death. I love it to death. I'm so glad I decided to do it, but originally I was told not to. And I actually really regret not doing it, but I know that if I hadn't shelved it, then it wouldn't become what it is today. Because I didn't know Day as well back then, so the art wouldn't have been there. Dragon and I still weren't working together, so Dragon wouldn't have edited it. So while I do regret not working on it sooner, at the same time, it wouldn't be what it is today without them. And so I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I waited until I knew Day better. I'm glad I waited until Dragon and I finally reconnected, and we went and we sat down and we said, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, it was the very first thing you ever asked me to edit.
Yeah, it was the first thing I ever asked you to edit. It was one of the last things that it's the latest thing that Day's done for me, actually. As of right now, anyway. Poet Song's gonna be Day, so there's gonna be more coming. There's gonna be more Day art coming.
Yeah, I've been hideously busy since like April, so
which is totally fine. Like April was when this came out, but yeah, so Ballad and everything else, like I shelved it. So I'm really glad that I shelved it in the end. Do I wish that I had put it out sooner? Yeah, a little bit. It probably would have gotten a little bit more traction earlier anyway. But at the same time, I like the fact that it came out when it did, because then I wouldn't have had my friends if I didn't. Or I would have had them. Aww. They would have been my friends, but like
I know.
we wouldn't be a team. We wouldn't be the team that we are now without Ballad. Anyways, so going back into the music in and of itself, there is all sorts of crazy happening in the Sword in My Hand, My Angel Cried section. And when I originally wrote it, it was actually very different. Originally, it was just going to have 3 voices. The upper voice was going to go, sword in hand, my angel cried as a son laid in his arms and died. And I hadn't been able to figure out the lower harmony. Hadn't been able to figure out the lower harmony at the time. And so I originally recorded it the way that I was going to do it. And then I tried to create the lower harmony. It just wasn't working. And I was like, there's something missing here. And then I realized I could add more into it. So I did, and I added more into it. I added in the, Mila Manberg. And I've had a couple of people ask me in the past, why didn't you do Mila Manberg? For one thing, that tune is copyrighted. It is the Hallelujah chorus, and Wilbur took the not the Hallelujah chorus, that is Hallelujah. Sorry. That is Hallelujah. So Wilbur took a copyrighted song and put new lyrics to it, which I find absolutely hilarious. Totally something Wilbur would do, and it kills me that he did it. So a lot of the time you'll actually hear this motif of Mila Manberg. It's taking notes from I was wondering how you got the glowing effect for the heart and Ballad. That is a Day question, and we'll get to that in a second. I want to finish with this thought first, or else I'm gonna lose it. So you'll hear this motif throughout a lot of my songs. Actually, it shows up in Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me somewhere. One day I'll do a breakdown stream of that, and I'll explain exactly what I did with that song. That song is
when that hits 100K.
Yeah, when that hits 100K. So go get Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me to 100K. And I will break that song down. It's going to be a hot minute before that happens, but, you know. A further dream. You never know. It is at 10K right now, so it is actually growing faster than Ballad ever did. Although Ballad hit like after like a month and a half or so, or 2 months ish, like there was a massive spike in views, and so Ballad's gonna overtake it again. But it's still my top growing song, which I think is absolutely incredible. Makes me super happy, and I'm super proud of that fact.
Which song?
Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me.
Oh my goodness, it's almost like somebody predicted that.
Gosh darn it, I hate you. I don't hate Dragon. This is a thing where Dragon will predict things, and I'll be like, no, and Dragon will be like, yes, and then it happens. Like Dragon predicted Ballad was gonna be what put me, or you predicted Ballad was going to blow up.
Yeah, I did.
It didn't until this month. October 31st.
You were like, it's never gonna overtake
31st.
Nowhere Kid. That's never gonna happen.
That is true. I did say it's never gonna overtake Nowhere Kid, and then it took it about 8 weeks. So it took 2 months, and then it overtook Nowhere Kid. I was like, dang it, dang it. And then it overtook Nowhere Kid in growth rate anyway. Random fun fact.
And now here we are.
And now here we are. But yeah, so you'll hear this, Mila Manberg. I add that in a lot. It's my own take on Mila Manberg, because I don't want to get copyright struck. I'm not the only musician in the fandom who's done that. And so I'm going to do it with Poet Song. I'm doing it with Theseus. Woe to the People of Order is including that motif. If you haven't heard the Woe to the People of Order snippet, I'm sorry, but I will say I've posted a snippet of it somewhere. You have to figure out where it is. It's hidden in a fic that I wrote. So if you ever find that fic and you ever find that snippet, you will get a Woe to the People of Order snippet. I'm going to be posting a couple of other snippets very soon too, so keep an eye out. They'll be going in my shorts tab. I feel like that's a good place for them. But yeah, so you'll hear that Mila Manberg a lot. And then, as for the sword in a hand, my angel cried as his son laid in his arms and died. As for how many harmonies there are, I told you that there were 24 different tracks going in the previous section. In this section, there are 36. There are officially 8, 16, 24, 32. No, that's wrong. 4 divided by 9. Or 9 times 4. There are 9 different harmonies going on at once. There's an uber high harmony, a slightly lesser high harmony, my usual sword in hand, my angel cried. So there's that harmony. There is the main voice. There's actually 2 copies of the main voice singing at the same time because everything else was overpowering it so badly you couldn't hear the main voice. Beneath that, there are 2 harmonies that are separated by like a third from the main melody, one above, one below, and then below that there are 2 more harmonies, and you have the sword in hand, my angel cried, Mila Manberg section. Another thing about this section too is the lyrics change. My son, the musician, his words brought me pride. His stringed guitar is at his side. That's very like me-centric. That's very. I watched as he grew. I watched as he I watched as he fled. But yeah. So there's that. I watched as he grew. I watched as he fled, my warrior. So that's very me-centric. That's very I-centric. And then suddenly, sword in hand, my angel cried as his son laid in his arms and died. And then suddenly it switches to a third person, and it switches to Phil's point of view. And I had somebody ask me about that at one point. I think it was Puffle. Actually, it was Puffle. I remember specifically because it's in Ask Inferno Anything in my Discord. I do have a channel where you can ask me whatever you want, and I will likely answer unless it's a stupid question. And by stupid question, I mean like if you post a picture of your dog and say, "Hey, Ferno, what do you think of this?" And I'll be like, "I love your dog. That's great, but I'm not going to go in depth into why I like your dog." No, I never answered Amax's question. Dragon, if you could handle that, that would be awesome. Like in chat or something, because I am like way off track. I'm not. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna try and come back to it. I promise.
Yeah. Well, that question about the glowing effect would actually be a question for a day because I didn't do the glowing effect for Heart.
Yeah, that is true. Really quickly.
I can wait.
Okay. Sorry.
Keep going.
So going back to. God, what was I saying? Okay, so the language shifts into sword in hand, my angel cried as his son laid in his arms and died. And I always read that as it's a shift in perspective in how Mumsa views the scene. Because the moment Wilbur died, he entered her domain. She is the goddess of death. She is death. The moment Wilbur died, he entered her domain. And the thing about gods, and it's something that pops up a lot, especially in the Percy Jackson series, which is a huge influence on me as a person. I never got into Harry Potter. I got into Percy Jackson. That was my big book series. Of course, I'm super excited for the film. But something that constantly pops up in the Percy Jackson series is how the gods have to be. They can play favorites, but they can't play favorites at the same time. And Hades even remarks at one point that he can play favorites with his children, but the moment he acknowledges it, he can't play favorites anymore. It happens with Hazel Levesque, who dies before the story in Heroes of Olympus, and then her brother Nico, searching for his sister Bianca, who died in the first series.
Oh my god, you're just spoilering it.
Well, but this happened, like, this is explained, like, the first book of the series, second book of the series. Like, it's explained really quickly. So, and, like, it's not exactly hinted at, or that she dies. Like, it's literally explained that she dies, like, in the first chapter. Or that she died before the story in the first chapter. So, yes, I'm spoiling, but, like, I'm spoiling something that, like, comes up, like, right off the bat in the books. So I don't want to hear it. But yeah, so he pulls her out of hell, and then later on in the book, one of the characters says, like, yeah, you're not on my list of souls that I gotta reap. So Hades can't acknowledge your existence, or Pluto at the time can't acknowledge your existence, because if he does, then he will have to admit that he's playing favorites, and then he will have to reap your soul. So just don't talk to your dad. Okay, bye. And that's kind of the point. That's kind of the thing. Is the big thing about. How dare you? I'm sorry you haven't read the books, but this does not sound like a me problem. This sounds like a you problem. Addie. I love you, Addie. Actually, Addie is like my favorite Discord mod ever, because Addie is modding the chat right now and is doing an incredible job and posting links to all sorts of things, and I think that this is incredible. So Addie, you're getting a promotion. You're officially my stream manager / stream mod right now.
Probably one of the only mods who actually knows how to mod on our server.
That's true. Like, I can mod. I mod really well. I used to mod a plus 1,000 person server, so I know what I'm doing when it comes to modding. So generally, I'll actually handle all of the mod stuff. Bo's the only one who can fork all the bots, and Dragon and If you're learning as they go.
Know how to do the quadratic formula. That's
But yeah, so the reason why there's a language shift there anyway is because the moment he died, he entered her domain, which means that she has to be neutral. Means that she has to, when it comes to Wilbur, she has to make sure that she's not being partial. And that she is being impartial, and so she's taking a step back, and she can't call him my son. She can't say our son. She has to say his son, because that's her acknowledging the fact that now he is within her domain, and he can't, and she can't play favorites anymore. Oh my god, love you guys. Anyways, so really... What? Sorry.
I'd never clicked that before, so it's really interesting to hear you explain it.
Really? I thought I'd mentioned it, or at least I've explained it before somewhere. Maybe you just never saw it. But yeah, so that's the reason why the language changes to sword in hand as his son laid in his arms and died. All right. So I know there are bots, but I don't know how to add them to YouTube streaming, so don't judge me. What am I? Oh, yes. Okay, so Amax. Amax actually had a really great question. I'm currently working on some fan art for you. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, sorry. And in the background, I'm putting the thumbnails of some of your songs, and I was wondering how you got the glowing effect for the heart in Ballad. So it wasn't me who did that, and it wasn't Dragon who did that. That's actually a really great Day question. So Day, you want to explain?
Gradients. It was, yeah, a lot of it is working. I didn't really do shadows for the art here. If you look, you can see. Here, I think there's some shading, but I kept it very minimal.
Hang on. Okay, there. Now you go. Oh. Now you can see it. Sorry, Day.
But it was basically just a case of, for the heart, it was a case of gradients in different, so this is a red gradient. I remember I had there's like several different folders on the original file, and they all are different parts. Like the shading and the heart, the glow and the hearts were done completely separately. So there's just the plain heart, and then there's the glow on top. And it is just a lot of gradients. There's some, I think you can see there's some slight red highlighting, just to give that, like I've done some slight edges on some of the hair and the outlines. And, yeah, pretty much does just go all down to just gradients and messing with layer settings, and just basically messed about until it looked nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Day sent us the different versions of it, and Dragon put it all together.
Yeah.
I remember asking Day, I was like, would it be too hard to do lighting for all of this? And Day went, nah, I like lighting. And I went, okay, have fun with that.
I do like lighting. Lighting
You
is one of
do.
my favorite parts.
Well, and
lighting
that's why Poet Song is going to be fun, because most of it's lighting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do a lot of... Like, I've got 2 different lighting situations here. And I think Poet's Song is going to have, in my head, at least 3, probably more.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's good. It's really going to be really fun. And yeah, talking about one thing. Sort of we were mentioning transitions, and originally I did want to try and do. I think I wanted to try and animate the transitions, but I am not an animator, and I did not have time. But yeah, there were lots of ideas running, and then Dragon came in and absolutely saved the day with their amazing editing.
I remember that. I remember you sending them to me and being like, I really wanted to animate them, but I couldn't. And I was like, no, don't worry about it. Dragon's got you. Because I had talked to Dragon beforehand already. Like, hey, Day's going to be doing some animation. If it doesn't work out, are you going to be able to pull this off? And Dragon was like, yeah, I can do it. I was like, okay. I trust you. And then Dragon pulled out this banger. All right. I think we're ready to move on. Sorry, there's a lot to talk about for this section in particular, just because of how massively crazy it is.
We have a lot to talk about at the end.
We do.
Yeah,
like I think all 3 of us are gonna have massive things to say about the ending. Stop doing that.
I'm scared.
Actually, funny story about Sword in Hand, my angel cried as his son laid in his arms and died. There were 36 different tracks singing that. I've said that before, but what you don't know is that I sat down and I edited every single track down to like the microsecond in Logic to make sure that all of those S's lined up, because there was one S that was wrong and I couldn't find it. I sat there for hours editing the S's down to make sure I found the right S and fixed it. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it for all the rest of them. So every single S that you hear in that was deliberately placed in a specific way and like cut in a specific way to make sure that those S's were all on time. Because you don't want to hear S's popping out from everywhere. It's bad enough that I didn't have a de-esser at the time. It's even worse when they're all popping out at you at different times, and it's just distracting. We want that to happen later with all of the explosions, not now. Anyways, I thought that was a funny little fun fact about why I hate this. I love this section, but I simultaneously hate it because it took me 4 hours in total to edit all of the S's properly. Anyways.
I'll hold you gently safe in dusk skies. I smile upon you, my weathered champion. Come, ancient wanderer, come home. This is your hour. And so my wanderer settled again, this time in a land raised by...
So, really fun little thing that I did here. Music is all a wave. It's growth and it's decay, and every song has a climax. And some songs have multiple climaxes, and that's okay. Generally, in folk songs, your climax is going to happen in your bridge. And the bridge is like that weird little tidbit between the second chorus. Like, there's the second verse, there's a chorus, there's the bridge, which is that middle section, and then there's a final chorus. Generally, that's how it works. Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me is actually very similar in that respect, where you have that, And you can't break a shattered heart, and I can't make the battered whole, I can't remember. Like, that's a bridge. And then it has a coda tail thing that's kind of crazy, but we don't talk about that right now. What was I saying? What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about bridges. So there's no bridge in this song, which meant that the sword in hand, my angel cried as the sun laid in his arms and died. That was one of the climaxes, and you can have multiple climaxes in a song. And this is something that Woe to the People of Order actually does, and this is why this is a callback to Woe to the People of Order. A really great example is in Ms. Fish's version, where Ms. Fish does like a whole bunch of harmonies for they raised an anvil and laid me, or actually no, a really good one actually is this what you want, corruption and power? Well, I won't stand for it, this is my hour, take on these beasts, I'm now friend to none, if you think you're a hero, then die like one. And then like there's this huge big chorus, and then the main verse comes back with, I fled until silence was all I could hear, the voices once screaming, and all of the harmonies drop away. And that's what I did here. This is the first time in the song where I do that, and it's the last time in the song that I do that, but that's a callback to that version of Woe to the People of Order and the choices that they made there. And I was like, okay, so you've got this big emotional cathartic moment, drop everything. So that's why there's no harmonies in this section in particular. I've gotten a couple of questions about that before, so I just wanted to point that out. I thought it's a cool little tidbit and a cool little like composition and arrangement tidbit that I put in there. So yeah.
Son's hands until they came for his only friend. And my lonely warrior raised his sword again. Withers he summoned with nary a thought, as bombs exploded and hungry wolves fought. His son's final monument crashed into sand. Chaos and bloodshed once more on his hands. Ancient one long.
All right.
And that is my favorite transition in the entire part.
I agree.
I love like every time I see it, I feel so much joy in my heart. It's
hang on really fast. I'm going to mute this, and then I'm going to go back through and I'm going to play it again and just let you talk, because you have so much in this section.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to go back to about here. So just talk. That's fine.
Okay.
Actually.
So once again, these are all just transitions, like all the shaking and the bright light that you see when you hear the wither make his wither noise. They're all just transitions in between a video that is the same video. So it's the same image just next to each other, but there's a transition in between it, which you would think would be kind of weird because of the fact that it wouldn't be transitioning into anything, but it leaves behind an effect on the video. Like for the camera shake one, it's pretty much exactly what you'd think it says. It shakes the camera. And then you have the non-additive dissolve, which that's the one that wraps it back into the heart to make it like that's the one I use at the very end, I think, whenever it changes back to its off state. And then let's see what else. And then what else did I use? The additive dissolve is the one that makes the glowing screen effect. And then this part right here, I just transitioned it between the different effects that I already had. And that one took me a long time.
Yeah, and we're not going to talk about the cracks just yet, because that's its own fun little thing. Day, do you have anything about the art that you want to talk about?
Not really. I think I've kind of said everything that I can say about the art at the moment, so unless anyone has like specific questions, I'm about done.
Okay. Then you can just comment on whatever you want to comment, and please, I love it. You know me, I'm going to talk about whatever I want to talk about. So this is officially the beginning of where we start hearing sound effects. I absolutely did not comb through all of the Minecraft files in my computer. I promise. I totally did.
Love the Minecraft sound effects. When I first heard it in the song, I immediately knew I was going to do something with that, because I know a lot of the time when you have a song and you want a video to it, you have to have something visually to interest you both audio-wise and visually-wise to connect them together. And so I knew the moment I heard those Minecraft sounds that I had to do something fun and cool there. And I'm so glad the way it turned out.
And Dragon never told me about it. Was the funny part. Dragon was just like, okay, and like I thought Dragon was just gonna like have the heart go like it. Like I didn't know what Dragon was gonna do with it. And Dragon was just like, I have some ideas. So I was like, okay, cool. I give you full license to do whatever you want. And Dragon went, okay, yeah. And like disappeared.
Yeah. There's some things that that I want to confirm with you, but there's other things that I want you to watch it through and go, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
like that one transition with the boom boom.
Yeah.
I remember originally I thought, I was like, wow, this is a really cool idea, and then I was like, wait, can we make this better? And like there are some things that like I'll sit down and I'll be like, okay, let's fix this and let's make this a little bit better. Like the bum bum. I actually had to tell you. Like I had to send you an audio file of me saying the beat that I wanted. Which was really funny.
You to do that for
Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me.
Yeah, the trailer too.
There's a couple times where I'll be like, okay, can we have it on this beat? And Dragon will be like, I don't understand what you're talking about, and I'll send them.
There's a couple things whenever I'm like listening through the video that me also doing music a good bit of my life, I also catch up on that would be fun to put something there. But I'm also not nearly as advanced as you are, and so like when you give me feedback on that, I really appreciate that because I'm still learning myself.
Well, and that's the thing, your ear has grown. Like your ear in particular has seriously grown, like doing all of this editing. There's things that you pick up on that I thought I would have to tell you that you just pick it up. You pick up on it now because you listen for it, because you know I'm going to ask about it.
Well, there's this part in Ballad that I didn't actually put anything in it. But every time we get to that section, I don't even remember where it is right now. I feel this like natural flow to my body in that one part of it, and so every single time I pick up on it when I come across it. I can't tell you where it is right now, but I'll go back to it and tell you later.
Tell me later. I'm interested. But yeah, so like all of those, so the sound effects, I combed through my own Minecraft library of files. There are so many files that go into Minecraft. It's incredible. The team who created Minecraft, like, seriously, kudos to them for that. But going through the audio files, I actually had to comb through audio file after audio file looking for, like, withers and wolves and TNT sounds. Did you know that in Minecraft there are 8 different TNT... No, there's more than that. There's 12. There's 12 different TNT sounds. All of them happen differently. All of them sound different. All of them are different rhythms. All of them are different craziness. Like, it's kind of crazy how many different things there are. It's what's really fun about Minecraft. Like, you never know what sound effect you're gonna get. And so I played with all of them. I have every single Minecraft sound effect for wolves, withers, and bombs that you can find put into this song. And they all happen in different places in different times. I take advantage of certain ones. There's one sound effect, like in explosions, that is actually already pre-panned. It goes from left to right, and so I actually used that and used it as like a transition kind of bum bum. Like that's an actual Minecraft thing that I didn't put together. That was actually a sound loop from Minecraft in and of itself. I didn't create that. There are some rhythms that I did, like the bump, bump, bum, boom, hiss. Like, those I created, and those I deliberately put them in certain beats that I wanted them, but there are others that I didn't even touch, because they were perfectly fine as they were. So let's just go back to this really fast.
Ancient wanderer. Oh, my wanderer settled
so many
again.
S's, I hate it. Okay, sorry.
By his son's hands, until they came for his only friend, and my lonely warrior raised his sword again. Withers he summoned.
That's the first one. That's a wither. Then you have a wither on the other side. That boom, boom, boom wasn't me.
His son's final monument crashed into sand. Chaos and bloodshed once more on his hands. Ancient one, lonely one.
So like that boom, bottom, boom, boom. I didn't create that. That was all Minecraft. That's one that I found from Minecraft deliberately. That was pre-panned, pre-done. Like, that's in there. If you go looking through the source files, it's in there. It's rarely ever used. Like, the chance of getting it, I think, in the files is like less than 1%. It's one of the rarest forms of TNT explosions you can find in the game. But just a funny little fact.
Come rest your head
So the bell comes back. It goes bum, 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 deliberately, following the harmonic pattern of the actual song. But the bell comes back. Here, what's up?
Another thing is the fact that while I was doing all these transitions, I actually couldn't see them while I was doing them because my computer would lag so hard that I couldn't see the way they looked. And so I had to export the entire thing to see how these transitions looked.
I forgot about that.
And so there's a couple parts in there where they might be like slightly off, or same with the lyrics. Like it's just because I genuinely could not see the finished product until it was exported.
Yeah, and then I'd sit there and be like, so why is this part weird? And Dragon would be like, yeah, I can't see it.
I can't see it. Well, what I've actually realized how I've actually fixed that is what I'll do is I'll actually I will disable all of the video tracks that on all of the layers I have, and just look at the one or two I'm focused on, and at a time, and it makes it much less laggier. Because I only have 2 video tracks going at once instead of like 15.
You have a new computer though, too, right?
I do have a new computer. That's right. It's very helpful.
Dragon has a new computer. It's a good, better computer. What we need to do is we need to get Dragon the full edition of the software that Dragon is using, because Dragon's working off of a free software, and so I've kind of made it.
It's a really good software, though.
It's honestly a really good, even as a free version, it's a fantastic software. But I've made it my goal. My goal as a content creator, and to pay you back for all of the amazingness that you've done, my goal is to make enough money to pay you in getting you a DaVinci Pro, like actually getting you the main thing. That's my. So other than like upgrading my own equipment, getting a better mic, getting a couple of other things like a DI box, and other equipment that I actually need to like step up my music game. And also to make my streams a lot better, like audio-wise and things like that. Yeah, like other than those things, like that's my big mission right now. My big mission right now is getting Dragon better audio or better video editing software. Not gonna lie.
I'm not even sure what the full version even includes, but I mean, honestly, as I said before, they should sponsor me, because all I ever talk about is how incredible DaVinci Resolve is.
It's so fair. Yeah. I mean, it's so true.
It's definitely true. I've used it for some editing my own videos, and it's so nice, so helpful.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Who's going first? You want to go first?
I'll go first. All of the videos pre-Dragon editing were all done on DaVinci. I use DaVinci myself. I'm not very good at using it. I can't do everything that Dragon did, but
because I advertised it. It's like, you should use it.
Well, yeah, but I used it before. I was using it before. Like, that's how we got into the conversation. Actually, the way that we got into the conversation of me asking you to do editing for me was because we were talking about me using DaVinci.
Really? I don't remember. It's been so long ago.
No, that's how it happened, because I remember being like, I'm so mad at DaVinci right now. I don't remember what I was editing. I was like, I'm so mad at DaVinci right now. I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. And you were just like, oh, I love DaVinci. And like we started talking, and you were like, I love editing. And I was like, I hate editing. You want to do this?
And then you started like sending me some of your like clips from like you showed me Soft Boy before you had posted it while you were still editing it, and I was very happy to get that, because I was like, I feel like I'm contributing. And but it was
hilarious
nice.
Now. Well, I mean, like, you contribute. I had this conversation with somebody earlier. I'm not going to disclose who they were. But we were talking about something, and they were like, I felt like my friendship with you was, like, a monetary transaction. Like, I would do this one thing for you, and, like, that's the only reason why we were friends. And so I had this big worry, and I was like, no, like, you're my friend because I like to hang out with you. I like to talk with you. I like to be around you. I like to work with you. I love you as a person. Like, it shouldn't be based around like, what do I do and what do you do for me? Like, and if anyone ever feels that way, I want them to come talk to me about it, because you're not my friend because you do things for me. You're my friend because I genuinely enjoy your company. And there's funny stories about how I've made friends with people.
Now you just gotta tell everybody.
I'm not gonna tell everybody.
No, you gotta tell everybody that you're friends with them. Or they won't know.
Yeah, I do. That's really funny. Like, I tweeted about it this morning. but I genuinely have to talk about. I genuinely have to tell people that I'm friends with them because they don't think that they're friends with me. And it drives me crazy because I'm just like, I automatically assume that we're friends. And other people are like, no, I thought that we were just like, you needed something from me. Or I thought that. And I'm just like, am I just that bad of a person? Like, do I seem like that kind of person or something like that? Like, your you-ness is not defined by like what you do for me. And
no, you're just so cool that we're all like, how could they want to be our friend? Because they're just so cool.
Aww.
And we're not. That's kind of what we all think.
I mean, yeah, when I first met you, I actually looked up to you as a role model.
Yeah, I did.
As a role model? That's terrifying. Okay. Things that I did not know. I did not know the role model bit. I knew that you looked up to me. Like, I knew that you thought I was cool thing. I didn't know the role model bit. That makes me
Don't worry, I know you too well for it now.
Yeah, you definitely know me too well. Addie, shush. Actually, Addie was one of the worst ones. Addie, so, story about how all of my mods met each other. Arla Manberg brought my mods together. We call them the gender neutral dream team. There's Addie, there's Amphi, and there's Addie, Amphi, and Dragon. Addie also goes by Bo. There's also MKJ, who I know through other things, not through Arla Manberg, and how that whole thing came about. But all three of us were in Manberg the musical together. And I started writing Arla Manberg, and then I started posting like snippets of Arla Manberg in the main chat, and every single time Dragon, Amphi, and Bo would get together, or would like pop up and talk about how much they loved it. And so that's how they caught my attention, was they kept coming back and saying, wow, this is really good, you should continue working on it. And that meant so much to me that I kind of already started considering them friends just from that. And so, because that's kind of the way things work, like people will comment on things, or people will talk to me, and then I'll be like, wow, like that really means a lot to me. Like, that's why I call you guys my kindling. You're the reason why I do this. Kindles a fire. And so, I love you guys a lot. And so Arla Manberg ended up being how I met all three of you and how I started talking to you. And then you all became friends because of Arla Manberg. Hilariously enough. So Addie, Amphi, and Dragon all decided that they were going to get Arla Manberg to 4,000 streams within the first week of it being on Spotify. And they did. They actually got there pretty quickly, and then they just decided to keep going. So they just looped it over and over and over again on Spotify. I thought I was going to get banned from posting on Spotify because that's how bad it was. Like, I was getting stream after stream after stream. They don't do it anymore. Thank God. I think that would stress me the frack out.
Arla Manberg is the entire reason I have Spotify Premium.
That's true. That's true, actually.
I was like, well, Addie and Addie and Amphi are looping it because they have it. Well, guess that means I gotta do it too. So I bought it.
Yeah, and Addie's like, no, actually, our goal was to get you $1. So the funny thing about Spotify streams is that Spotify doesn't pay a lot. It was my primary source of income for my music, on the music side of things, before I was monetized on YouTube. Now YouTube is definitely already, like, within like a month and a half, it's already my primary revenue stream. Like, I've already made 3/4 of what I've made off of like streaming services on YouTube in 6 weeks. Like, that's insane. I'm not going to say how much because that's rude and other things like that. I talk about analytics a lot in my Discord server. So sometimes, like, you'll hear me talking about it, but I try not to expose numbers unless I'm talking to specific people. Because those people I'm comfortable with talking to them about, but I don't talk about it, like, on stream or publicly or things like that. I talk to my mom about it a lot, actually. We talk a lot about this stuff because my mom's a marketing person and PR and marketing person for HP, Hewlett Packard Enterprise, which is the server side of the computer company, basically. And so she and I talk about this stuff a lot because she genuinely supports me, and it took me a long time to come out to her that I create music on YouTube. But yeah, so in order to get $1 from Spotify, you have to stream a song 1,000 times? 2,000 times? 3,000 times? I forget what the official number is right now. Spotify streams to $1. I'm just looking this up. Like, you can look it up anywhere. On average, about 300 to 400 streams would amount to $1 of revenue. At the time, I misread that it's 3,000 to 4,000. So they were like, we want to get you to $1. Hilariously enough, they got me to 40. And I love those guys. I love them for what they did, and that's how the gender neutral dream team came together. That's how my mod team came together, and that's how I made friends with these incredible people that I consider like some of the best people. And it's all because of Arla Manberg and talking about like how does streaming revenue work, how does Spotify revenue work, how does all of that stuff work. And now like we're all really great friends. But anyways, so yeah, it's really fun and really fascinating and really interesting stuff. I could sit down and talk about analytics all day. And numbers and statistics, which is hilarious because I hate math, but I love talking about that kind of stuff. How far off track did I get?
We're pretty far off track.
I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Back to the video.
You were enjoying listening to Fernocast.
I'm betting you anything that we've lost like all of the viewers on stream, because it's just Addie and Dragon in the chat right now. Yeah. Pretty sure like it's just Addie watching stream.
It's just Addie. Nobody else is here.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's just Addie. Do not confirm or deny that, Addie. I don't want to know how badly I've bungled this stream so far. God, we're almost at 2 hours already. That's kind of insane. Alright, back to the video. Hi, Floor. Okay, we have Floor. I'm still here.
We have Floor and Addie.
It fell though.
I smile upon you, my weathered champion. Come, ancient wanderer, come home. This is your art, ancient one, lonely one. Follow my path. Come to death when it is your hour. One life to live, live down in my name. The angel of death, the pride of my reign.
I don't exist anymore. No, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry, guys. I know you're all lurking. I didn't mean to make you feel like awful.
They're lurking.
Hi, Lucas. I'm waving at you.
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry. It was just Addie in chat, so I was like, okay. I bungled this stream. Anyways, okay, so we have a lot to talk about in this section. If I'm not mistaken, Dragon, am I mistaken?
You are not mistaken.
I didn't think I was. Everyone's here. Aw, I love you guys. You're awesome. Wow, wait, this is the most replayed? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that was the most replayed. I thought this was the most replayed.
It's the one I'm most replayed.
Well, I would expect that. I'm going to mute this really fast so Dragon can talk about editing all of it and what they did. Actually, no, I'm going to make this softer. I'm not going to mute it because that doesn't do much purpose, but
okay, well, so for all of these scenes, I went through every single scene to get the audio of these booms to be exact, and the cracks that I got, they're actually from Google.
You told me that and I was like, wait, seriously?
I just went on Google and looked up I looked up transparent cracks, and funny enough, I got the idea of the cracks from Furno, without them even knowing. They said they were talking about Day's purple image right here with the shards coming outside of the heart, and whenever they mentioned that, they said little shards moving out. That made me think of shards of glass, and then that's what spurred the idea of the cracks in the screen at the very end, and it just so happened that the Wither and TNT sound effects would be a perfect place for cracks to be.
Yeah, well, because I deliberately timed them to be on specific beats. Mm-hmm. Like, it just, and so the fact that you picked up on that, like, seriously impressed me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was really impressed that you picked up on those things.
Well, I told you, I went frame by frame listening for that listening exactly for when that beat dropped, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's that's seriously like super. That's super cool. Like I didn't know the extent that went into, or the amount of work that went into that. Like I knew that there was work, but
I also do that for all of the subtitles as well. Is I'll go frame by frame, listening for when you start your next like singing, and then I place the subtitle track right there, and so I hope that normally like gets it directly on the spot, but sometimes it doesn't. But most of the time it gets it where it needs to be.
No, the cracks are probably my favorite part of, like I love the bum bum transition that you've got, but the cracks are my favorite part, I think.
And
like that just so well
I've got
done.
a symbolism. If you'll go back to the cracks in the screen area.
Oh, yes, please. Which one? Like the major one where all of them are?
There it is. Okay. So, the one I did think about here was the crack across her mind and face, because her husband is out doing war things, and he's being dangerous and hasn't come home in a very long time. And so I was thinking about how broken her mind must be while she's singing this song. And so that was the symbolism between her between the crack in her face that kind of just goes all the way through. And I think there's one that even comes like in the heart as well. I'm not
there
sure.
is. Let me scoot. There is one. Ah!
Yeah, there it is.
Crack. Haha!
That's so cool.
And that's the same thing there. Is there's now a crack in her mind and in her heart for her husband, who she is missing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's awesome. Like, there's all sorts of different things that I didn't notice about that. That's actually super, super cool.
I do symbolism sometimes too.
Hey, you know what? I think that is an awesome thing, and I am super impressed by that. Not gonna lie. Hi, welcome to my crazy mind. No, like I think one of my favorite parts, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, is because there is so much symbolism. Like between the three of us, we've all done so many different things for this, for the song, and for like all of the videos that I do. We do so much work, and all three of us have put so much emphasis on this is what we're doing. This is what we mean when we're doing things, and it's one of my three. I have 3 rules to writing music. First and foremost, love what you're doing. If you wouldn't want to sing it yourself, then why would you do it? And that rule is kind of carried. Like if there's anything that I dread singing, then I know that it's not a good song, and that it's not a song that I want to represent myself, because I'd rather love what I'm singing than not. Granted, over time things change, and later on maybe I don't like singing it as much. Like I don't like singing soft. At the time I loved soft. I'll go back and I'll listen to it sometimes, but it's not my favorite song out there that I've written and that I've posted. There's a lot that went into it. There's a lot of symbolism that went into it, but I don't love to sing it anymore. But at the time I did. And so that's like my first and foremost rule. If you like singing something, if I like singing something, then it's a good song overall. Second rule is trust yourself. If you like it, somebody else out there will too. I mean, there's how many billion human beings in the world? I think 7 billion. That's a lot of people. 7 billion people. And even if I made the crappiest thing out there, but I thought it was amazing, there's law of averages, law of rules, law of numbers to people, ratios, whatever. There's like rules about all this stuff. Mathematically, somebody out there is gonna like it too. And whether that person is my mom, because she's obligated to like what I do, or my girlfriend, or actually no, Day is pretty obvious about what she doesn't like. So like I feel like if she didn't like it, I'd know pretty quickly.
I just don't have a poker face.
You don't. It's really cute though. Sorry, I'm trying really hard not to flirt.
Bonk.
Thanks, Dragon. Dragon's the official bonker. So, but yeah, that's my second rule. My second rule is if I like it, someone else out there is going to like it too, so trust yourself. Trust what you're doing. Trust that what you're doing is right. And so long as you trust yourself, I promise things are going to work out. Maybe they might not work out immediately. Maybe the payoff won't be there. But in the future, you never know. 3. 3 is always... 3 is always, thirdly, always make sure that there is a purpose for what you do. Whether that means adding a harmony in, whether that means taking a harmony out, whether that means an instrument goes into it, whether that means there's a piece of artwork, there's a piece of editing. Everything that I do has a purpose, and everything that I do has a meaning. Don't add in anything that you don't think should be there. And if you're going to add something, make sure that it's something that deserves to be there for whatever reason. And what I think is really cool is that the people that I work with all think the same thing. All of them think, okay, like, based off of the basic rules of art, or I like this color palette, and here's the reason why I like this color palette, or I'm going to add a crack in a heart, and that may seem like it's really stupid because it's marring the art piece, but I promise there's symbolism for it. Like, those pieces are what make all of my videos. They're what make my channel. They're what make my music. And I follow those 3 rules, and I have followed those 3 rules since I began, since Arla Manberg. And I should have, and there have been times where I've given up on those rules, like when I shelved Ballad. I gave up on those rules. But then there have been other times where, yeah, I did what I wanted to do, and it paid off. And that's who I am. That's what I do. That's why I do what I do. It's why I am who I am, is I follow those rules. And I like to think that that's the reason why I've done so well with just 9 videos. Technically 8. I've only posted, well, no, technically 7. I've only posted 7 official songs, and I'm where I'm at. Like, that's not easy.
And they're getting better and better by each one. I can see it. Just
yes,
you're getting so much better.
Aw.
And I'm so proud.
Yeah, if you go from like here to Arla Manberg, vastly different. Night and day, really. How I edited them, how I put them together, how I wrote them, like.
Well, that's the Arla Manberg video is actually what made me talk to you originally. It's because I mentioned the fact that if you ever needed help with editing, I'd be there to help, because the Arla Manberg video doesn't have any editing at all, not even like subtitles.
Yeah.
And so,
because I didn't know how to do them.
Mm-hmm. That's why I offered. I was like, I think it'll look better with subtitles at least.
One day I'll re-upload that video. Like I actually did do Arla Manberg Redux. I've never posted it. I asked a bunch of people to help me record it, and then we all kind of just never did. But I always said that I would go back and I'd fix that someday and repost that song and put everything together.
Yeah. Arla Manberg is a pretty like nostalgic piece. Even like I don't know what it is, but whenever I listen to it, I'm just like, man, I'm just feeling nostalgia from whenever I was a big fan of the Dream SMP.
Yeah, same. Well, I mean, and then there's part 2, which I don't even think I've shown you. I wrote a sequel to Arla Manberg. Have I ever recorded it? No. Have I ever done anything with it? No. But I've always wanted to, and Cryro, the artist who did the art for Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me, and for Arla Manberg, really wants to do a couple of animatics that are just like one big movie of both the regular Arla Manberg and Arla Manberg Part 2. So I really want to do that for them, and they always promised that if I did it, then I would put it together. But yeah, no. That's kind of crazy to think about, like how long ago that was. That was over a year ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk about the music. We've got off track.
Yeah, back to the music. So we talked about the editing. Day, you said you didn't have anything for the art. Music-wise, I have... Oh, wait, nope, do you? You have something for the art?
Like one little thing, because I just saw someone comment on it, and it's like, yeah, I deliberate. The heart wasn't originally... I'm trying to remember how I came up with the idea for the heart. I think
I asked you for it.
Yeah.
I was like, can we make the heart shatter or something along those lines?
I'm trying to remember if it was. I don't think it was originally going to be a hardcore heart. It was just going to be blank, and then I just didn't like. It just looked really boring compared to the rest of the piece blank. So I was like, I'm gonna make it a hardcore heart.
That's funny. I didn't know that. That's funny. I don't think I asked you for a hardcore heart. No, I just said heart.
Yeah,
I think.
But it just it like you can kind of if you kind of think about it without the hardcore little whatever they are, it just looks really blank and out of place compared to the rest of the picture.
I really like the hardcore heart because to me it kind of looks like she's holding Phil's heart in her hands, because we all know Phil's associated with hardcore world.
Baby zombie.
Yeah, and all of that. She's trying to protect him from the baby zombie. Wait, though, but I really like that it's a hardcore heart.
I like that too. Like I always thought that was just assumed, so I didn't know that's why you did it. That's fascinating. All right, so music. We got a lot to talk about. So Dragon has listened to this song how many times?
So many times.
So many times.
I memorized it before it was even out.
They did. It was hilarious. That's how often they listened to it. And they couldn't even pick up everything that I did in this.
No. Well, no, it was the lyrics, the ones in the background of the main ones, I couldn't put in like subtitle form. And that was genuinely one of the hardest things I've ever tried to do. And then finally Frenna was just like, it's okay, just leave it.
Yeah, I did. Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me was almost the same way, and then we finally figured something out. But, like,
yeah,
this one, I was just like, just leave it. There's so many different things going on. So I'm going to break that down really fast. There is a lot to break down.
Champion, come ancient wanderer, come.
So we still have the death bell.
This is your hour, ancient one, lonely one, follow my...
So there's 6 different harmonies going on right now. And then behind those is... literally just vocals going ah. So it just goes like ah, ah, like that's it. That's the only thing behind there. And then there's like 3 different variations of it that all go in different directions into different harmonies because I am a harmony person. Somebody once called me the master of harmonies. I don't agree with them on that. But I will say harmonies are what I'm known for. They're what I do. If there's a song without a harmony, you are hard-pressed to find it, just because that's what I work on. You have the Mila Manberg again, because that had to happen.
To death when it is your...
Oh, right, the echoes. So this is where Dragon had some issues, and actually it takes a little bit for me to actually hear it because I've mixed it so well in that it adds rhythmic emphasis and it does what it needs to do, but it's really hard to notice. So there's ancient one, lonely one, follow my power to death when it is your hour. Come to death when it is your hour. So there's these echoes that happen after the lyrics that like are really, really hard to hear, but they're there for a reason. I put them in because I liked the rhythmic emphasis. I liked the harmonies that they added in with the ahs. They complement the ahs specifically. I specifically wrote all of those to complement each other. Because I wanted them to draw out like this feeling of giant chorus and of this power, because that's the point. Ancient one, lonely one, follow my power, come to death when it is your hour. Like, that's really important. How powerful this person is, how powerful this creature is, how powerful death can be. And it's part of the reason why I love this song so much, because I wrote that ending, and I never meant for it to be as strong as it became, but it became strong. And that's really important. Because there's just something powerful in love and in loneliness and in death, which is the reason why it's called Ballad of the Lonely. It's a love song, but it's all about the loneliness of love. It's about the loneliness of being apart, but it's also about the loneliness of being in power, of being a god, of knowing that you can't go and be with the one that you love because you are bound to duty. Sword in hand, my angel cried as his son laid in his arms and died, you know? So it's a thing, you know. Anyways, going back to this because there's more. So, here there's the one life to, it is your hour. So, fun fact, there are two different vocals going on at this point. There's one life to live, it is your hour, and they switch places. So I have one life to live starting on the right side, and then I have it is your hour starting on the left side, and then they'll switch. And then the it is your hour and the one life to live will be on opposite sides of your hearing. I do that on purpose because I wanted to mess with people. Nobody's commented on it yet, which I think is because this is overall an overwhelming portion of the song. So I do not blame anyone. I just find it funny that I did that because I wanted to see if anyone would pick up on it. I've done that before in one other song. I won't tell you which song it is, but I've done that before in one other song.
Angel of death, the pride of my reign.
What did I just do?
I'm not bitter about it.
That's so funny.
Jump scare. I'm not bitter.
I'm not bitter. I'm not a bitter person. Actually, no. I can be bitter and I can be petty. I just try very hard not to show it. But yeah, so that's the ending of Ballad. I'm sure there's a couple of things that I'm probably missing. I'd have to pull up the, oh wait, Shrapnel, I did. Hang on.
There's a thing at the very end where the heart goes out when the bell tolls again.
Oh yeah, there is. The bells are there deliberately. I did that. Hang on. Let me see if I can pull this up on OBS. It won't let me. That's not fun. That's annoying. That's very, very annoying. Is it possible to just Discord? Nope, that's not doing it. Hang on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna see if I can do this. If I can do this, it'd be amazing, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Ah! That's my OBS. See? Now you can see what I'm looking at. Congratulations. It looks like I'm not gonna be able to do it, which stinks. I would have to do something else if I were gonna do it. And I don't have the patience to shut down stream and then restart stream just to do it. So, but yeah, that's Ballad.
Okay. What? I'd like to talk a little bit about that ending, with the bell pulling and the heart going out.
Please.
As I was doing this, I was still sort of in that mindset of she's waiting for her husband to come home, and so I was sort of looking at it as someone turning the light outside on as they wait for their spouse to come back, and then at the very end of it, he doesn't come home, and so she turns out the light and goes to bed finally. That's the way I was looking at it. It's like she's just been waiting this whole time on the front porch, and he doesn't come, so she finally gives up.
Dang, that's sad. I never knew that. I never knew that. You probably told me. I remember you telling me, but I forgot about that.
So that's why it goes out and comes back on, because it starts off the same way. It's off and then it's on throughout the whole song, and then it's off at the end.
Yeah. That's fascinating. Alright, you know what? Okay, ignore what you're about to see. These are my channel analytics. We don't talk about these. Crap. No, content. There we go. Here we go. What I'm about to show you is, as a reward for making it to this part of the stream, congratulations, so proud of you. I'm going to show you my Woe to the People of Order snippet. This is my latest project. It's one that I only picked up recently. I do have a rule, no covers, but this is the only cover that I'm going to probably ever do. Actually, I'm never going to say never on that. I may do another cover one day, and I've thought about opening a covers channel specifically. But Woe to the People of Order, And the reason why I'm doing this is because I got some ideas for it that I can truly make it my own by adding in my own songs, and I can add in my own things. And so I deliberately did it this way. So yeah. Can you hear that? No, it's muted. Why is it muted? Because I muted it. Welcome to the crazy people.
My friend, I prepared for battle, I hoarded and schemed, but I did not know all was not what it seemed. My allies unstable, their loyalty thin. Yes, we would have victory, but what would we win? The battle was chaos, blood roared in my ears. A chain of explosions, they looked up with fear. They set up a leader and shouted on raise. And I shouted and realized that I'd been betrayed. Is this what you want? Corruption and power? Well, I won't stand for it. This is my hour. Take on these beasts. I'm not friend to none. If you think you're a hero, then die like one. Die like one. To the people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder, and that you'll never rise again. And woe to those who called me a friend.
Alright, so some of the things that you might notice in this, and part of the reason why I'm doing Woe to the People of Order, is literally because of that. If you think you're a hero, then die like one, die like one. That's literally the reason why I'm doing this. Because I started adding those like notes into it, and I just kept adding. And then also there was the sword in hand, my angel cried. That happened. Take on these beasts. Take on these beasts. I'm no friend to none. Sword in hand, my angel cried. Oh wait, holy crap! I just hit 2K. That's so awesome! Thank you guys. Holy cow! Yes, I just hit 2K. Wow. Okay. Officially hit 2K on stream. Holy cow! I'm totally not freaking out. Okay. Anyway, going back to what I was just talking about. Don't worry, I'm celebrating. Like, I'm actually like vibrating in my chair right now. Like, there's like full on like mass vibrations. But yeah, Furno 2K, Road to 2K officially over. Can you believe that it was July 23rd, 2022 that I got 1,000 subscribers, and now it's September 11th, 2022, and I have 2K.
Wow.
That's insane. Like, that's less than, that's a little over 2 months. Wow.
That is very cool.
Y'all are incredible. Anyways, okay, so going back to this
You are
ballad,
also incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So going back to the snippet, you'll notice a couple of things in there. I really liked the take on these beasts, I'm no friend to none, and the sword in hand, my angel cried. Like, I don't know why. I really liked that. I think that that's really interesting. If you think you're a hero, then die like one, as his son laid in his arms and died. I thought that was a really great ad. That's one of the things about Woe to the People of Order that I'm doing. I'm deliberately adding my own songs into it, so it feels more like me rather than like a cover of somebody else's cover of somebody else's song. Because that's the thing. I don't like doing covers because they don't feel like me. I spend a lot of my time doing covers because I'm a music major, and they may not seem like covers, but they are. There's thousands of people who've sung Alma Mia or Furibondo by Handel, or am I listing off senior recital pieces right now? Yes. Being Alive by Sondheim. God, how many people have actually done Being Alive by Sondheim? I can't even count on my fingers because there's so many people who've taken that song and done amazing things with it, and they've always made them their own. But in the end, as a music major, you spend your entire career doing other people's songs, and you're doing covers of other people's songs. So that's part of the reason why I have a no covers rule. I don't like covers because I spend literally all of my time getting graded for doing covers, is the way that I look at it. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life having my choirs do covers of other people's music. Which is fine. I love that, and I love conducting, and part of the reason why I love conducting is because A, I don't have to sing, and B, because I can make it my own through conducting. And it's like if I were to take Rise of Fathers Rise, which is a lovely piece, or No Time is actually what it's called, and it's a mixture of like 4 different folk songs all mixed together and arranged SSAA, and it's a fabulous medley of folk music that I've actually conducted before as a student conductor here at my university. I'm part of a special program that lets me do that. But yeah, so that's why I have a no covers rule, because I feel like I'm constantly doing covers, even if the music world doesn't consider them covers, they are covers. So yeah, that's why Woe to the People of Order was like a really big ask for me. There's been a lot of people who've wanted me to do it. I don't blame them. It's a good song, and I love what I do with it. I just don't like Woe to the People of Order. I love Woe to the People of Order. I just don't like doing covers. So you'll hear it's a battle of wills, it's a battle of fire, it's a battle of strength and your heart's desire. That's directly from Arla Manberg, one of the main central parts of Arla Manberg. Then there's an upper harmony that gets added. You have the Sword in Hand, My Angel Cried, which is deliberately pulled from Ballad, because there's going to be other Ballad nods in there. And then you have the Mila Manberg thing that I always add into like every single song that I do, because it's a motif in my music, and it's a motif that I love, and it's a motif that a lot of people really like. So it pops up quite often because motifs that kind of connect all of these songs together. And then you have the If You Think You're a Hero, Then Die Like One, which is so much fun. No, I like Woe to the People of Order. I wouldn't have written Ballad if I didn't. Fun fact, I heard Woe to the People of Order for the first time, sat down and wrote Ballad in under 12 hours. Like, that's how Ballad came about, hilariously enough. I do like Woe to the People of Order. Oh, you have a story. Tell me a story.
I have a story about Ballad, about editing Ballad. I've told this before, and Ferno, you know this, but I did the finishing touches of Ballad, on a road trip. I was.
I remember that. You were moving.
I was. Yeah, no. This one was because I was just going on a trip with my church, and I was sitting in the back, and I had my mouse to the side of me on the seat cushion, and I had my computer on my lap, and I was just, it was really annoying because the glare of the sun kept hitting it for a while, but I finished on the road, and then I got to the hotel, and Ferno was like, well, I want a bit of a teaser trailer, and I said, okay, so I did the teaser trailer at 12 o'clock in the morning at my hotel.
I remember that. I remember you telling me that. Okay, so funny story about Ballad for me. I was in the middle of a musical. I was in the middle of tech rehearsals, actually. So my university did Tick, Tick, Boom. And I played Caressa. So, come to your senses, defenses are not the way to go, and like that girl who sang that song. Which, by the way, Come to Your Senses is probably my favorite musical theater song I've ever sung in my life. I sing it very well, which is why I like it. And I also just like the message of it, and I like the way that it's written, and I think it's the best song to come out of Tick, Tick, Boom. I'm sorry, that's probably a hot take, but it is. I personally am not a fan of Tick, Tick, Boom. I'm not a fan of Jonathan Larson. I don't like Rent, funnily enough. I think that Rent did a lot of really great things. It shined a lot of really great lights on things. I just don't like the dialogue, and the music is take it or leave it. Take me or leave me. That is a pun based off of Rent. But yes, so I was in the middle of a production of Tick, Tick, Boom when we were doing the entire editing process of Ballad. Like, I had just finished Ballad in and of itself. And so I would go out on stage, do my lines, do everything that I needed to do, come back, and Dragon would have a new snippet of video for me, and then we'd have to wait for it to render, and then I'd go back out on stage, do my scene, and by the time I got back, the video would be rendered. So there were a couple of times, like, I just ghosted Dragon in the middle of everything, and Dragon was just like, where are you? And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm doing something, and I can't tell you what I'm doing.
I had no idea where you went.
Yeah, like I was in the middle of rehearsals. I'm wearing like all of this makeup. I'm wearing like futuristic space alien costume. I swear to God, like I'm not kidding when I say that. And I would go out on stage, do my scene, come back, and watch whatever dragon had sent me.
Really?
Yes.
You didn't tell me this until right this second. That's so funny.
I didn't. I just remembered it last night. I was like, Dragon's gonna kill me when I tell them.
That's so funny.
So yeah, if there were any like weird, wacky moments in the editing process where I just like didn't talk to you, like that's why. Because I was on stage singing or dancing or doing something, and then I'd come back all sweaty and gross and tired, and my vocal cords shot, and I'd be like, "Hi, okay, here's all the edits that you need to make," and then I'd leave, and by the time I came back, because like I was on stage for most of the show because I was one of the best dancers on the cast, and so like by the time I would get back, Dragon would have something new for me, or like would have made the changes that I asked for, or something along those lines. Or at one point, I think you said, "Oh, that's gonna take me a while." And I went, "It's okay, I have time. Just trust me, I have time." No worries. I'm gonna be awake until 3:00 in the morning, because like tech rehearsals go from 6 p.m. Like I finished choir. They go from 5:30. So I finished choir at 6 at my university on most days, other than Friday. So you start at 5:30, and then you get into costume. Runs don't start until 7. And then you do 2 runs per tech rehearsal. So our show is about an hour and a half. So we would go from 7 to 9:30, 9:30 to midnight. And then I'd go home, I'd work on homework, and I'd crash. Or I'd talk to Dragon about Ballad of the Lonely. That was my schedule for that week. And on top of it, I was trying to watch a live stream of an orchestra at the same time at one point, because I needed the recital attendance credit.
At first, I actually forgot I was supposed to be editing Ballad, and so I don't remember what happened, but you said something that reminded me that, oh yeah, I am supposed to be doing that. So for like an entire week or two, I just didn't edit Ballad at all because I completely forgot I was supposed to be doing it.
That's funny. I think I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah,
if you had edited Ballad a week earlier, it probably would have worked out better. Not gonna lie, because I was in the middle of tech rehearsals and everything else. But you know what? It was fine. Another fun fact
for an interesting story.
Another fun fact about all of this, though, that really kills me is it was like the tail end of you doing Ballad. We had just finished Ballad. I wrote "Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me" that same week.
Really?
Yeah, I had written, or like a week before, like that week where you didn't work on Ballad at all. I wrote "Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me." And then I started working on the instrumentals that week. So I'm in the middle of tech rehearsals, and here's the list of things that I was doing during tech rehearsals when I wasn't on stage. I was either talking to Dragon about Ballad of the Lonely edits. I was working on "Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me," not recording because I had all the vocals recorded before I did the instrumental. But I was working on "Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me's instrumental. And then I would actually have like line work to memorize, and I would be practicing dancing. So if I wasn't doing, or I was doing homework. So I had 4 different things that I was doing all at once in these tech rehearsals, and like focusing like on my show, which by the way went really, really well. So like don't think that I wasn't actually like on stage doing what I needed to do. I promise. Like every single show that I did, anything that went wrong was not on my end. There was one point where like our John, the guy who was playing the main character, like screwed up like a bunch of lines one night and skipped an entire scene, and we had to fix that. Or well, we didn't have to fix it, but like we had to jump ahead a couple of things. But for the most part, for me, like everything went off without a hitch, other than like one costume change that just didn't go well. And that wasn't anyone's fault but mine. But it wasn't because I was like off doing so. So don't think like I was just neglecting my duties because I was being bad or something. It was deliberately like just stupid things that happened that night. But yeah, so I was working on "Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me" for like the entirety of that process too. And then it took me forever to actually finish "Don't Look Back, Don't Wait for Me" because I put it away because I got very frustrated with it. Because there was something that wasn't lining up audio-wise. I couldn't fix it, and I needed a new computer because my old computer wasn't working properly. And then Robin, that was around the time. Oh yeah, and then on top of it, Robin bought me a new computer in the middle of all of that. Remember?
Robin has a habit of like buying people stuff.
He does.
Like Daddy.
He bought me a new that's the reason why I can stream and why I can do all of the things that I do, and why Ballad ended up working out really, really well and everything else. He bought me my new Mac during that time period, like during that mess, that entire thing. Like I got my Mac right after the show ended, or something ridiculous. Like it was right before I went to Ireland. Oh yeah, and on top of it, I was also preparing for the Ireland trip on top of it, and my Amsterdam trip that I took. So basically, all of that mess, like there was like a million different things going on in my life during the production of Ballad. It's a miracle Ballad got out when it did. I knew I wanted it to release it before I went to Ireland, so I was really pushing it. But like that was. I had finals like a week later. Like there was all sorts of stuff going on in my life when Ballad came out. So I honestly posted it and didn't think about it for like weeks. Then I got back from Ireland. Then I started focusing on it more. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's all the funny stories I have. Anybody else got anything funny to share?
No.
Nah.
No? Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I guess that's...
You did miss the entire analysis.
You did. You missed the entire breakdown. It's okay. I'm going to be posting the video, or I'm going to be posting the VOD to my YouTube channel, so anybody who's missed anything is going to get the chance to come see it, or is going to get the chance to watch it later. Hopefully they enjoy it. There's been... It's a long stream, but
Pretty long stream.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, 2.5 hours. I'm sorry, Day. I know you probably need to go to bed soon. Sorry, babe. But this has actually been really fun. I want to do this again sometime. Like not just with you guys, but like with other people, and like sit down and talk about what we did and what we put together. Because I've put together a lot of really great things, and it hasn't just been me. It's been everyone. It's been all of you guys. Like, really, I wouldn't be anywhere where I am right now without Dragon and Day and Addie and Amphi and Puffle and Cheese and all of the people. Floor is one of my biggest supporters, and I love talking to Floor. There's Cammy.
It's a team effort.
There's Robin, there's the Hardcore Homies, which includes Amber Runnell and Zafaru and Anthe, who is bat crap crazy, and I love him. There's just all of these people who've made me who I am, and I wouldn't be here without them. So I want to start featuring them more on my streams, which is kind of crazy. No, not crazy, but like, yeah. So I'm going to start streaming more, I think, and doing more stuff and breaking down songs, breaking down ideas, maybe playing some video games with all of you crazy nutters, if you're willing to do that with me.
Yes.
And...
I want to murder you in Among Us.
Babe, we need to have a talk. But yeah, no, all of you guys are awesome. Whether you realize it or not, you're all incredible.
You're gonna get demonetized for that.
What?
For what I just said.
What'd you say?
It was in a video game.
Oh god!
It was in a video game.
It was a
video game. The stream that they're not even gonna know.
I hope not.
That's
it's alright. I think I can edit the stream, so I'll just edit out that comment.
You can.
But yeah, love you guys. I'm gonna get going because it's been 2.5 hours, and my throat is actually telling me that I need to stop talking.
Yeah, and I gotta go eat dinner before my cafeteria closes.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, and Day needs to go to bed, babe.
Oh yeah.
It's only like 10:30.
Babe, I'm gonna yell at you. I'll yell at you in DMs. All right. I love you all. Seriously, you guys are amazing, and I appreciate you guys coming out and watching. I don't know how many of you there ended up being. I'm sure I'm going to get a stats breakdown at the end of all of this, but I'm heading out, so...
Guys. Fano support in chat. Fano support.
Yeah, Fano support in chat right now.
Aw, guys, no. Alright, bye everyone. Join the Discord if you can, or follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, follow me on I don't stream on Twitch anymore, but like follow me on Twitch maybe. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, which I hope most of you are subscribers, till next stream or till next song. Don't panic when the next song finally comes. Bye y'all.
Bye everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.